When you're young, you never think you'll get sick. You don't think of sickness, but it wasn't long before my mother was wheelchair bound.
Did you know that weak legs are often one of the first ways your body tells you it's starting to wear down? It's not just about having trouble getting up the stairs or feeling wobbly when you walk. It's your body waving a red flag, saying your freedom, your ability to move, and even how long you live could be in danger. But here's the surprising part. It doesn't have to be this way. What if I told you that by making a few smart changes, adding the right foods, doing the right kinds of movement, and building a few simple habits, you could actually stop the decline and start getting stronger again? Stick with me, because what you're about to learn might just shift the way you think about aging. For good. Before we get in, take a second to drop a comment below. Let us know where you're tuning in from and what health topic you'd love to see us cover next. We read every single one. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on tips that could genuinely change your life. Let's grow stronger together.
Arthritis is something that is afflicting many people today. It's inflammation of the joints. There is rheumatoid arthritis, and it's probably a little bit more serious. And there's also osteoarthritis and arthritis.
Aging can sometimes feel like your body's quietly turning against you. One day you're full of energy, going for long walks or even running races, and the next, getting up from the couch feels like a workout. But here's the good news. Losing strength, balance, and mobility doesn't have to be your future. There are easy, proven ways to keep your legs strong, your balance steady, and your body feeling energized no matter your age. In today's video, we're breaking down why leg muscles weaken over time, the best foods packed with nutrients to help you stay strong, and the exact exercises that boost balance and stability. By the end, you'll have simple tools that don't just slow down aging, but help you feel more alive than ever. Let's get into it.
Arthritis thrives in a very acid environment. So an acid environment in the body is one of the #1 causes of arthritis. Now, you can go back to look. Old injuries is often where arthritis can manifest itself, and there can be different factors there. There can be an inherited factor. There can be a factor of injury to that area, which makes it a little bit more susceptible. There can be an acid environment, often a breaking of these laws. As Ellen White says, that disease is an effort of nature to free the system from conditions that arise because of a violation of the laws of health. And many people don't realize that.
Arthritis often develops in areas of the body that have become more acidic over time. Studies have shown that chronic low-grade acidosis, which can result from poor diet, stress, and lack of movement, may contribute to inflammation in the joints, making conditions like osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis worse. Areas with old injuries are especially vulnerable because damaged tissue tends to be more sensitive to inflammation and wear over time. So how do we break free from it? The starting point is something we often overlook: pure, fresh air.
So we're going to first of all look at pure air, and we've looked at this a few times. We're going to go to the cell where the glucose goes in. It goes through a 20-step pathway, and the 20-step pathway gives us 2 units of energy. It's the glycolytic pathway. The end result of the 20-step pathway is a chemical form of glucose called pyruvate. And pyruvate, as the chemical form of glucose, gets fed into the powerhouse, called the powerhouse because this 8-step pathway delivers to us 36 units of energy. This is the mitochondria, and inside that little pathway is called the Krebs cycle because of the Sir Ernest Krebs that first discovered it and named it.
We have about 100 trillion cells in our bodies, and some, especially in our muscles, have hundreds of mitochondria. That means the potential for energy is massive, but only if we give our bodies enough oxygen. Oxygen doesn't just boost energy. It plays a critical role in healing and keeping the body alkaline, and that matters, especially for conditions like arthritis and gout, which thrive in an acidic environment. So, what's one of the easiest, most powerful ways to get more oxygen into your body? Exercise.
And the person might say, You don't understand, Barbara. My body, I'm in so much pain, my body can't move. We got to find out how to make it move. And one of the easiest types of exercise for someone who has stiff, painful joints is swimming. What swimming does is it's weightless, so that can be good, and you can start moving the body in the pool. And if you can't swim, you can get a kickboard or you can stay near the edge, but you've just got to move that body must move. Another non-jarring exercise is the rebounder. And you can start with the rebounder, what I'm doing right now is called the health bounce. And you can do that on the rebounder. And on the rebounder, you've got a springing action, you've got a shock absorber action in that mat. And as you master the art of the health bounce, then more and more you can start jumping a little bit more. Another low impact exercise, because with painful joints, you don't want impact. Another very low impact exercise is the exercise bike. Especially good for people who are they don't balance very well.
When you're sitting down and breathing normally, you take in around 500 milliliters of air with each breath. But during exercise, especially when you're breathing deeply, you can take in over 3,600 milliliters of air. That's over 7 times more oxygen flooding your system. Plus, you're breathing out more waste, which helps reduce acidity in the body. Fresh air while you sleep helps too. Think about it. You spend a third of your life in your bedroom. Sleeping with the windows open or ensuring good airflow in your room makes a big difference. But nothing beats the oxygen boost that comes from getting your body moving. Exercise also increases blood flow, and blood is your body's delivery system. It brings oxygen, water, and nutrients to your cells. And just as importantly, it carries away waste. If you're dealing with arthritis, whether it's in your knees, hands, or toes, getting more blood to those areas means more oxygen and water coming in, both of which are alkalizing, and acidic waste being flushed out. And speaking of waste, every fluid in your body should be alkaline except for one: stomach acid. Your stomach needs to be acidic to properly break down food, especially proteins. But everything else, your blood, your lymph, your joint fluids, should be on the alkaline side. Waste, on the other hand, is always acidic. So the more you move, the more you help your body clear it out. In short, when you move your body, you move your blood. And when blood flows into stiff, aching joints, it brings in healing and flushes out what's causing pain in the first place. Movement isn't just good for your heart or your weight. It's key to unlocking relief and restoring balance in the body.
And exercise moves the blood. The other thing that moves the blood, and we talked about this in our pain presentation, is hot and colds. Hot and cold application. So the hot and cold applications can be done by immersing the hands in little baths for hot and cold, or bowls. It can be immersing the feet. If it's in the hip area, then hot compresses alternated with cold compresses can be used, and that can be hot towels twisted and dipped into boiling water and then twisted, wrung out, folded over. You always say it's the hip, you always put a dry towel there and then put that hot steaming towel there and then put a blanket over it. If it's too hot, lift it up and just wipe the skin, put it down. Keep putting it down till the person can handle the heat. And then you leave it there for 3 minutes. So it's 3 minutes hot and 30 seconds cold. After 3 minutes, things start to slow down with the hot application. And so then you take the hot off and go over to the cold. And after 30 seconds, things start to slow down. So you're using the stimulating effect of your hot and colds. So the 3 minutes hot and the 30 seconds cold, that's the stimulating times. And you do this 3 times. So again, that's a powerful mover of blood into the area. And what you will also find is that can bring great relief to pain in arthritic joints.
This hot-cold method not only moves blood more efficiently through stiff, painful joints, but also brings fast, natural relief. When used consistently, it can support healing, reduce inflammation, and help you feel more mobile and comfortable again. Another thing we need is water, and lots of it.
water, it's important to drink adequate water. So water, 8+ glasses a day. If you're used to 3 glasses of water a day, start drinking 4, then start drinking 5, and then start drinking 6. A lot of people, especially elderly people, don't want to drink water because they don't want to have an accident, or they don't want to have to rush to the bathroom and maybe not make it. So there is a way to drink water that will certainly lessen that, and that is little by little by little. Don't drink a whole glass at once. Drink 1/3 of a glass at a time, or 1/4 of a glass at a time, or a half a glass. Do an experiment one day and have a mouthful of water every 5 minutes, and just see how much water you consume in a day just by doing it little by little by little by little.
Now, let's shift to another major mover of health: food. Specifically, the foods that alkalize your body. We're going to make 2 lists: alkaline-forming foods and acid-forming ones. This helps us understand which foods support arthritis recovery and which ones make it worse.
What is the best foods for arthritis and what are the worst? The most alkalizing is the humble lemon, and the lemon is acid where it should be and it's alkaline where it should be.
At the top of the alkalizing list, the humble lemon. Yes, it's acidic to taste and it acts as acid in the stomach, helping digestion. But once it's broken down, the minerals it leaves behind, potassium, calcium, magnesium, iron, are incredibly alkalizing to the tissues. Next up are dark leafy greens. These are some of the most alkalizing foods you can eat, and ideally, you should have them daily. Someone might ask, what about cooked spinach? Here's the thing: raw spinach contains oxalic acid in a form that is organic and still alkalizing. But once it's cooked, the oxalic acid becomes inorganic and can have an acid-forming effect. For people with arthritis or gout, it's best to eat these greens raw, or stick to something like cabbage, which remains safe even when cooked. Vegetables in general are great, but there are exceptions. For those battling arthritis, the nightshade family, bell peppers, tomatoes, eggplant, and white potatoes can trigger pain and inflammation. These foods are best avoided until the condition improves. But sweet potatoes are fine. They're yams, not true potatoes. Certain fruits are wonderfully alkalizing, and so are some grains. Millet, quinoa, buckwheat, spelt, and kamut all help alkalize the body. These ancient grains are less processed and retain more of their natural minerals. Almonds and Brazil nuts are your best bets when it comes to alkalizing nuts. Among legumes, go for lima beans, lentils, and organic non-GMO soy. And don't forget seeds. They also have a mild alkalizing effect on the body. On the flip side, sugar tops the acid-forming list. Pure crystallized sugar is highly acidic and does the body no favors, especially for those dealing with inflammation. Meat is also acid-forming.
Dr. Colin Campbell, in his book China Study, he shows how he could turn cancer cells on and off by the amount of meat and dairy products that he was giving them, because cancer loves an acid environment. These acid foods are high in the acid-forming minerals, which is chlorine and phosphorus and sulfur. When meat breaks down in the body, it gives off a high sulfur waste, so it's particularly acid-forming.
When meat breaks down, it releases sulfur-rich waste, which promotes acidity in the body. But modern wheat is another troublemaker. It was hybridized in the 1950s through intensive crossbreeding. No safety tests were done, and now we see a wave of gluten sensitivity. This new wheat has a more complex gluten structure and is grown using chemical fertilizers, chlorinated water, and often sprayed with glyphosate, Roundup, all of which make it more acid-forming. Aged cheese is another acid-forming food. Goat or sheep feta is a safer, more neutral option. And while caffeine and alcohol aren't foods, they do create an acidic environment in the body, as does tobacco. Most grains, legumes, and nuts, apart from the few listed earlier, also lean acidic. But this doesn't mean you can never have them. The key is balance. Aim for about 70 to 80% alkaline-forming foods, and the remaining 20 to 30% can be mildly acidic. This supports a healthy pH at the cellular level, the space where arthritis and gout either thrive or fade away. Our blood pH stays relatively stable, thanks to the work of our lungs and kidneys. But the pH inside our cells can shift, and that's where pain often starts. Poor hydration, low oxygen, and a heavily acidic diet can tip the balance.
So this lady and this man who conquered their arthritis then came into our retreat. They'd conquered it by basically implementing everything that I've shown you here. They no longer had arthritis.
So, here's the takeaway. An alkalizing lifestyle is about more than just food. It's about hydration, movement, sleep, mindset, and giving your body the tools to do what it was made to do, heal. That's all for today. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more tips on living your healthiest, strongest life. Got any questions or need some extra advice? Drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and remember, your knees are worth taking care of. See you next time, and as always, stay informed, stay healthy.